everyone, and welcome back to Semyon Plays Frosty Kiss. I know it's been a long time since I last played this. Anyway, that's a huge load off my mind. Now, when the girls know where we are, they will surely find a way to get us out of here.
Are you sure about that?
It looked as if Alisa had similar some thoughts. Her eyes were sparkling again as they used to, and even her moves suggested that she regained self-confidence. Well, that's good. Simon, hooray! Yay, I guess. I was glad, but I couldn't help feeling a bit sad about it, because I knew that everything would be over soon. We will return to the girls and then celebrate this out. And after that, we will just go out of our separate ways, merging into the everydayness of this huge megapolis, and only sometimes we will remember this day and think of it as an unhoped-for experience, nothing more. You weren't too happy about it, are you? I forgot what voices I give the characters, so I apologize if their voices are different than the first part. It's just been a while. Anyway, by the way, her smile faded, and I could tell that she knew what was happening in my head. She looks like she's crying. Maybe it's happy crying, I don't know. I am, why not? Anyways, I somehow managed to live on my own till now. And it's not like I won't be able to hang out with her again. That is true if you have her number. Ah, screw it. Here goes nothing. Hey, Alisa, will you have some free time this week? Maybe. Why? She was genuinely astonished. Well, I don't know. Perhaps you can call in on me someday. You just sound like you're desperate. I just couldn't make up any coherent reason. Will you tell me why? Listen, just come by sometime, okay? Okay. Such turn of events startled me a bit. Alisa had agreed without any argument, hasn't she? I will hold you to that. And, well, thanks for the coat, I suppose. Oh, that's nice. We're a tall dude. I was not realizing that. She looked so pretty when she blushed that I couldn't resist a sudden urge to hug her softly around the shoulders. Hey, what are you doing? Though Alisa wasn't trying to resist. I'm sorry. I took off my hands from her shoulders, but suddenly she put her arms around me. Very well. I could feel her heartbeat even through the coat. Her cheeks literally turned as red as her bright hair. Something warm and soft touched my cheek. Happy New Year, I heard her whispering in my ear. Then something started rattling, and the next moment the lights were on again. The elevator came back to life too, and started its quiet movement, regaining its normal speed. Eventually, Alisa released me and looked into my eyes. Just to try to forget, you invited me, and so I could see that her usual arrogant and scornful mask was back, though I was too well aware of what hides behind it. And what if I do try to forget it? Then I will forget to come too, she prodded me jokingly. The next moment, the elevator doors slid open. A blinding light of a luminous lamp made us narrow our eyes. Was that proper English? I don't know. And then there was that impish voice again. So, how's the ride? Quite good. The eyes eventually adapted to the bright light, and I was able to see Ulyana's malicious smile. Come on, everyone is waiting just for you. Having uttered her invitation, Ulyana disappeared into the doorway. She left the door ajar, so we were able to hear usual holiday greetings, clicking of glasses and quiet laughter. We exchanged looks and laughed quietly. We were both satisfied with our today's celebration. So, shall we go then? Do we have to? She frowned. Haven't you thought they would be gossiping about us? Well, maybe. Have it bothered you before? Yeah, believe it or not. Alright, let's go. Achievement unlocked, elevator to heaven. We finished Alisa's path. That's great. This was shorter than I expected. I guess I'll do another girl's route. I think we did go get warm last time, so we'll just do stay and watch. Perhaps I should stay. Alisa, you can go back home while we prepare for the lunch. I pointed my finger at the bag with fireworks cylinders sticking out of it. Well, so you are a numbskull after all. She snorted, turning around expressively and trudged back to the apartment. You got what you wanted. I'm a numbskull now. Ulyana just giggled behind my back in response, and my neck was instantly bit by billions of icy needles. That doesn't sound fun. You redhead piece of... Without even turning around, I carefully drooped, trying to cover myself from incoming snowballs with one hand, while scooping some snow and making a snowball with the other. Hey, that's not fair! She didn't even let me turn around, aiming at my head and quite frequently hitting it. Will you stop already? Nope. She lost focus for just a moment, and after 2 life-saving jumps, I utilized the nearby bushes as cover. The stern battle raged on, by dodging snowballs. I managed to warm myself up pretty nice. I no longer wished I had gone home with Alisa. Well, that's a little mean, don't you think? After another sharp hit to the breakdown jacket, a scuffy voice could be heard from behind the tree. Hey, that's not fair. Don't want to tell me I should have taken a dive. Of course you should have. She went out from behind the tree, snuffingly looking at me with her arms akimbo, whatever that means. Her upset appearance was so funny that a smile approached on my face. Quit sulking with me. Got hit with a snowball. This isn't such a big deal. Alright, let's go launch some firecrackers. Her easily appeased temper could knock my socks off sometimes. Just a moment ago, she was burning me with her blazing expression, and now she already suggested screwing around. Let's go. Whee! Ulyana quickly ran away from another aluminum tin which had a thin gray string of smoke coming out of its hole. In a second, an unlucky piece of aluminum was torn asunder with a sudden blast, just like a kid. Even despite the fact that Ulyana was on her first year of studies in the university, her ways of entertainment couldn't be called ordinary. Judging by the other girls' stories, she was always screwing around. Apparently, she even volunteered to be a camp leader. Ulyana as a camp leader, that image appeared in my mind instantaneously. A pioneer uniform, her strict voice, lecturing ankle biters. I couldn't contain the laughter. What you laughing at? Nothing. Just thinking why some individuals still enjoy playing with firecrackers. Ulyana gave me a surprised look. What's wrong? That's funny. Where's the fun in that? Just an explosion and the tin is torn apart. It's possible to hurt an eye with a splinter. Let's not do this again, okay? I'm worried. Ulyana waved her hands in protest. About yourself? About you as well? Well, if you're worried about me, we won't do this again. An explosion went off right behind her back. I frowned. Something should be done to bring that girl to her senses. You think? Yeah, all right. That was the last one, I swear. I stretched my hand out, and Ulyana sorrowfully unloaded the rest of the warheads in the palm of my hand. You are indeed boring. What are we gonna do then? I was about to suggest something, but immediately reconsidered, because I had nothing to suggest. I couldn't even imagine what one could do outside in winter besides wandering around between the house and the nearest mini-market, and optionally, studies. Let's make a snowman? I gave her a consenting look. I'm still 10 years old for you? What's wrong with it? To me, it's fun. She silently sat on her hunkers, and started to flur the soft snow. I was standing nearby and aimlessly watched her attempts to make something round of a slush ball. Don't just stand there. Help me. Well, great. Really mature. Okay, we'll make a few balls, put it on top of each other. So what? Ulyana stood up there and threw a serious look at me. Look, that's all. Everything. It's part of New Year. The presents, the snow, the bells chime, Father Frost, all this is New Year. I don't get it. Why are you such a dejected creature? What happened in your life that you look like all the fun has been pumped out of you? The thing is, nothing. Nothing happened. That's why I'm like that. I'm not sure if that was the truth or not, but somehow I really wanted to trust myself. That reason for my passiveness. Who was my style of life itself? Not me. It's always pleasantly to know that someone else is responsible for your failures. Ulyana kicked the slush ball and it fell apart. She turned around and headed to the porch. I froze in place. Just a second ago I was ready to leave myself, but now I felt extremely offended. Offended by myself. By being such a miserable toad. I can't even pretend I'm cheerful to not upset the girl. I felt some kind of unpleasant tight lump appear in my chest. If I managed to upset Ulyana, I really did something wrong, in this holiday to boot. It meant a lot for her. I couldn't have not had these feelings, but for sure didn't have a desire to spoil it for someone. I sat down in front of a tumbled down slush ball and tried to gather it in one piece. Somehow I managed to do it. Then I started rolling it on the ground, carefully straightening the sides. The slush ball was slowly turning into a spear. So, where are you? She turned around and saw me making circles around the quadrangle. What are you standing there for? Come on, make a second one. Ulyana incredulously came closer and started to make the second ball, keeping an eye on me. She tried to roll it, but all of a sudden slipped and her face fell directly on the slush ball. When she got up, her appearance was so hilarious that I couldn't contain myself and bursted into laughter. Funny as a crutch, but her face was a dead giveaway. In a second, she couldn't control herself and started laughing out loud. Then she made a snowball and threw it in my face. The snow got precisely in my mouth, which made the situation even more hilarious. Having finally stopped laughing, we continued to make the snowman, smiling from ear to ear. And here it is, something made of 3 snow spheres, with hands that were supporting the fat pot belly, standing before us. Instead of the nose, the snowman had a branch and some random condolence ended up as his eyes. If only we had a carrot, that would be a real classic, with a broom in the hand and a bucket on the head, to be precise. I was standing next to Ulyana and watching this snow miracle, and all of a sudden I felt so warm and cheerful, like going back to childhood, when we were walking and playing in the snow with my parents. Ulyana looked at me and I grabbed her hand. I just had a sudden desire to hold someone's hand. It actually was like childhood. The snow falling from the sky, the New Year tree lighting up the outdoors, the snowman, someone's hand you can hold hands with, I guess. I checked the time and New Year was at hand. I dragged Ulyana's attention to the fireworks. Let's launch them right at 12 o'clock. All right, she said and gave me a warm smile. The phone's clock was counting down the last seconds of this strange, full of mysteries, losses and discoveries, happy and sad moments year. Ulyana rose with a spring, pulling my sleeve. Is it time? It is. She took a match folder out of her pocket and ran up to the artillery, which was armed and ready by that time. Ulyana was emblazing wicks after wicks, constantly swearing and breaking the matches. The last wick ignited, screwing the ground with the sparks. And precisely in the first second of the new year, the night above us shined with bright lights that looked like marvelous flowers. Red, green, golden, you name it. Look, look! Oh, that's cute. She ran up to me, grabbed my hand, and pointed at the sky. Although that was actually unnecessary. I was fascinated by the sight as well. What's so special about these lights and snowmen after all? Why exactly this day? Why do they make you wake up from the dream, dust off the fluff, lighten up your soul? Watching Ulyana, it became clear that I just forced myself too deeply in the borders of dejection and loneliness I created myself. So maybe it's time to break these borders, and once again learn to enjoy the simplest things and being a child at least sometimes. A chime of bells echoed from someone's open window. Ulyana shouted, "Happy New Year!" and suddenly kissed me right in my unshaven cheek. Ew. The kissing is cute, but that would be a bit uncomfortable to kiss someone who hasn't shaved, just saying. The same moment she became extremely shy because of her abrupt longing, dropped her eyes, and quit hold of my hand. I'm sorry. What's wrong? Nothing. She went beet red, nearly matching the shade of her cheeks with the color of her hair. Her embarrassed look gave me the warm feelings. I grabbed her hand and caught her surprised eye. No biggie. I bent down, kissed her in her ear, and said, "Happy New Year. Forever young." Aww, that's cute. But yeah, anyways, guys, thank you all so much for watching, and I guess I will see you all next time in another Frosty Kiss video, or whatever I make next. Goodbye for now.